Wild West Dynasty has been out for less than 24 hours and already the knives are out. Steam reviews have it as mostly negative, with 355 reviews contributed so far. So how did this happen? The game has been released in early access. Steam warns players before purchasing that the game is in early access, so as consumers we know what we are getting into. The developers even outlined their plans for early access on the Steam page and in the dev blogs. In the last months and years we had a very good experience with other games in early access and the subsequent dialogue with the community and their valuable feedback, so we want you, the community, on board as soon as possible. We plan to remain in early access for roughly 12 months. However, this is also depending on your feedback and ideas, as well as the progress in our existing development and roadmap plans. We are looking forward to taking on the Wild West together with our community and to an exciting early access phase with many ideas, suggestions and feedback. Our plan for Wild West Dynasty is to evolve and grow the game in close contact with the community. For the full version we want to include not only quality improvements but also expanded gameplay elements and features. We are aiming to continue and enhance the story. We are striving to grow the map area that the player can freely roam and explore, as well as adding more elements that will entice the exploration. We want to give the players many more side quests. We are planning the optimization of existing elements, balancing our gameplay systems and making sure that everything runs smoothly on a variety of systems and is thoroughly fun to play, regardless of your preference in the Dynasty franchise. So the current state of the early access version. The EA release candidate will already provide you with content for dozens of hours, depending on your playstyle and personal preferences, even longer. 2 of the game world's 3 biomes are included. You'll be experiencing an extensive and dramatic story developed and written by a renowned author. The story will be continued during the early access. The game is quite advanced in its development, with most of the core gameplay elements available in this EA stage, including resource gathering, detailed house building and furnishing them with hundreds of items, setting up settlements, assigning tenants, etc. The basic reputation and economic systems are implemented. The game has been tested for performance and runs smoothly, yet depending on your systems, problems might occur which we will of course address. There can be balancing issues since all of the gameplay systems are intricately connected. This is the first day of the game. What were people expecting on day 1? Well, they were expecting Medieval Dynasty, or more correctly, that game with a Western skin. A lot of the comments have compared the game to Medieval Dynasty, its spiritual predecessor, but are those comparisons fair? For one, it's a different studio. Moonpunch Studio handling Wild West Dynasty, whereas Rent-A-Cube created Medieval Dynasty. Both games use different game engines, Unity for Wild West Dynasty and Unreal Engine 4 for Medieval Dynasty. If you're playing Medieval Dynasty now, you are playing a completed game. Its full release was September 2021, but it came out a year earlier in early access. So how was that game reviewed in those first few days? Well, pretty great actually. As you can see from the graph, in the first month there were over 4,000 positive reviews and 330 negative reviews. One thing to note on the negative reviews for Wild West Dynasty is the time played. A majority of players are giving up within an hour, often less. Looking at the first day reviews for MD, it was the same. People were making their minds up within a very short period of time. Is this fair? Some people make their minds up immediately. Perhaps it's the Tinder mindset. This is what developers need to consider when releasing in early access. How many players do they potentially lose? Will those players come back? For the early adopters, I think we can look at the expectations. People wanted Medieval Dynasty. I saw one positive review for MD when it was first released. I haven't seen a comment like that yet for Wild West Dynasty. So can the devs turn it around? Well, let's look at that Medieval Dynasty graph again. There were a lot of negatives that first month, but it dropped off. In its first month of release, Medieval Dynasty released 19 content updates. The devs have already told us that will be the same for Wild West Dynasty. It's already received a patch. I think we should give them the benefit of the doubt and see where the game development takes us. Have you bought the game yet? Do you think it was released too early? Or are you waiting for more updates or the full release of the game? Let me know in the comments your experiences.